Hi, this is Mystical Moonrose, Anna Marie Harmony Stanton. You are watching Mystical Moonrose Productions. To make a donation or contribute for art supplies in the future. And this episode, I will explain locations, and this is the episode that I am referring to make contributions to this purpose and purchases. This is my CashApp and Venmo, CashApp, Venmo, and my email address if you wish to hear any stories that I may have. If you have questions or would just like to comment, like, share, do whatever. Today, I'm going to try to keep it down. I was going to go live, but I decided not to. I'm still getting my table set up for whatever I plan to do today. Please ignore my habit. It's a bad habit, yes, but we all have our vices. Somehow, we all have our vices of something. All right, I am, like I said, still getting. Okay, sorry, I had a little interruption. My husband came in. That is a story that I'm going to go on today for a little bit. Why this is necessary. But to do any of it, I really need these. All right, now the explanation of that today is my husband and I are separated. I have the use of his bed, which is this right here. I have the use of this house. It's a 3-bedroom house. But it's time for me to move out. But I would really like to be someone that makes me feel comfortable, welcome, like I can speak. So today, because he's in the front room, I'm going to be speaking in about this level. I hope you can hear me or pick up what I'm saying. But I don't want to make him angry. I do appreciate the use of his house. But today I get to talk on a sensitive subject about how I got here and back to living with my husband. And it is a touchy subject for him. So I'm going to try to do this as quietly as possible and be as descriptive as I possibly can be to the best of my recollection. As some of you may understand, the risk of escalations. Okay. You don't poke the bear, if you know what I mean. Okay, so is this good? Scroll in a little bit more and focus. Yeah. And I am right beside the bathroom, which is where he was a minute ago. And the bathroom's on that wall. You can hear it, wall's paper thin. Alright, I need my little bottle of Dawn water. It's not Dawn, it's just a bottle. There it is. I was wondering why the table was a little less on it. This is acrylic paint, so you know what the purpose of water is. I like to thin it out so it taps and makes these feathered places, weathered places, whatever you want to call them. Alright, so this story, I live with my husband. I forgot about we have been separated since originally 2019. I hope you can hear me. And for those who think I may need help, this is what I need. Right now, I know how to smile and walk away. But I want to avoid those escalated moments. I don't need this. Let's clean my brushes. That's a little Dawn. If you think I'm in fear, I'm really not in fear. Well, I kind of am, but kind of not. This is his house. I must respect his wishes. We may be married, and we've gotten divorced or filed yet, but we are separated. And I do have a little anxiety about being back in my car without it tagged or registered. And I bought that sucker in 2021. It's not like I bought it yesterday and just don't have it. It's gonna cost me $2,200 at least to get it registered. But that's not including insurance, I don't think. I paid cash for the car, so I don't have to worry about it being repossessed, but I do have to worry about being towed and taken away from me if I were living in my car like I had been for the last 3 years on and off. And in this time, being homeless, I met some really good people and I met some really ugly people. And that is why I started this, because one, my husband does take care of me to the bare minimum. But I do have a place to sleep, and I'm not hungry, and I'm not cold right now. So I'm very, very, very appreciative of it. But that's how I'm gonna have to tell you how I got here. And it's just that one day I felt like I didn't love him anymore, and I needed to be honest with myself, no matter how it hurt. And this meant being in contribution as a wife, and you know what that means, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. So I left and I slept in my car. I was, because nobody really seemed to want to support my idea or my attempt at independence, because I'm not employable. I can't work. I had a car accident in 2019, and I just didn't feel right being here. I still don't feel right being here because it doesn't allow either one of us closure. So I have big ideas, and I hope that I can find a way to purchase a $3,000 piece of land, or the $4,000 one I saw in Tennessee. It's in Benton County, and it's really, really close to my friend Mary, who put up with me and gave me a roof over my head rent-free for about almost a year, on and off. And when I reconnected with my family, because I had a concussion, I couldn't remember much about my family, and what I was remembering were from pictures on Facebook that were attached to a cell phone I had that was a long, long, long time ago. It wasn't even active. So I had to relearn my family, and Mary, she put up with me, and I think her family thought I was using her, but honestly, I really don't see where it was using me. She didn't know me and gave me a place to stay while I was going through this with my family with a concussion, not really knowing where my family was or what they were doing. My daughter ended up moving to Florida. I mean, don't get me wrong, I knew the bare minimum. I knew what my ID said, who I was, but the classic memory of family memories, they were flooding in, but flooding out quickly. So if you have any idea what it's like to deal with a concussion of that nature, it's like God took away your memories and then brought them back, and then took them away and brought them back, and it was crazy for about a year and a half. So I'm thankful to be back here. I'm glad my son moved back in with my husband to get him out of his situations. But I mean, I wasn't exactly forthcoming about how I just switched from loving life to not really knowing my family was because of my concussion, but because of things that I remembered during my concussion. Because the car accident happened in 2019, right after I left my husband. I needed help, so he came back into my life to help me for 2 years to learn how to walk again. I mean, I couldn't walk without help. When I was around him, I needed more help than ever. It's like I got put down for some reason. Maybe it was to reassess the path I was on, or, I don't know. But apparently it was for healing, because my husband has told me, I need you to go so we can heal, but I have nowhere to go. So, my goal is to hopefully be able to purchase some cheap land and be by myself. I don't mind sleeping in my car, and I have the basic survival for that part, but I also don't get food assistance. My husband's retired Navy. I have help, but they just recently denied me because of a third party form that they said I need for a diabetic issue. I went to the ER because I'm diabetic and I didn't have any insulin, and that may be why they want it. It's because I can't afford my insulin. And my blood sugar was over 800 that night. Out of the blue, just skyrocketed. I've already lost a friend to diabetic coma, and she was only 35. I'm 50. I'm pushing it. I'm in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. The land I found is in Benton County, Tennessee. It's in the sticks. I can do what I want. I have seen people tent on land out there. I am good with that if I could get to it. But I need to get my car tagged and titled, insured, and get this, and I need to get my driver's license. Oh my gosh, my driver's license expired in August of 2023 or 23. It's been that long. Oh gosh. No. It was 2024. I gotta look at it. I can't find it. I can't find my wallet. My military ID expired in June because we don't have any place for me to be able to do that here in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. But Vanderbilt Hospital in Nashville, I've been there. I was allergic to my husband's cats, which is why I stay in this room. I don't go anywhere. I don't do anything. I can't. My car's not tagged, and I don't want to get caught out there and have it towed. And, okay, this painting, I'm just gonna tell you, whatever comes out, comes out. It's not intentional. Whatever happens on this happens. Look, it looks like a little UFO. I'm gonna use this. Like I said, I don't mind sleeping in my car. I don't mind roughing it out there. That's fine. I don't have any addictions. I do have a weed little stability thing, but that's more for anxiety and to get into the talking part. I have social anxiety disorder, and I have had selective mutism for 7 years. So all of a sudden, just one day, I could start talking again. So I started a podcast. I'm like, okay, so this is how this will work. And then I thought one way, and you'd choose differently. And then I said, okay, I'm gonna try it this way. And then slowly getting my old me back, because I found some videos. Apparently, I was trying to fix myself in 2021 before all of this happened with the concussion. In 2021, I just started talking, but it was also after Michael died. I lost my best friend the year before Michael's death, and I knew I had this ability to, listen beyond what I hear. Like I can hear spirits in the background say something to me, or feel them, more than anything, because they weren't really talking to me, because I hadn't been talking to them yet. And when I started talking to them, my husband went nuts. You've never done this before. I was like, I didn't know I could. So I tried to be respectful about that, and he, just thought I was just going crazy. I'm not going crazy. Actually, I kind of got to know God a lot better, because before I used to be agnostic. And it's funny, I will see orbs in my room with my naked eye, and I can see them on the canvas only if they're black orbs. You might be able to see them if they're white. You normally don't see that black frame. Now, I can see orbs around rocks when I'm standing outside. That's how they'll call me. It's like they're trying to get my attention. And some people run from this. So if you're feeling drawn to listen to this today, just keep listening. You will see them hop. I just saw a black one hop from there, but you might see white orbs just go from place to place. You might even see them go to my paintbrush. They may have something they want to express here too, and I'm open to that. I don't fight it, because I know I'm well protected. They don't let anything happen to me. That's why I kind of don't mind being by myself. It's strange, because most people are, I'm alone, I need protection. I don't even carry a knife. I have a pair of scissors that I keep in the door, but you see I craft, so if somebody were to come up to me and try to rob me, they got my scissors before they're gonna get me. But the place that I just came from in 2023 after my mom died, 2024 is when my friend died. I have another friend who passed away in his truck. But just recently, where we were in January, there is a pilot that's in Hopkinsville, or it's in Oak Grove, Kentucky. It's off Pembroke. It's a pilot, and I used to stay there for a couple of days on and off. And if I knew I needed gas, and I'm waiting on my husband to get paid, and he was sending me money to come back up here, bathe, shower, stay as long as I needed to until, we could work the money up for me to go back out. And, just recently it just stopped being that way, because, well, he doesn't have it. He can't do that and have this bigger place with my son, our son. who's in a band, and he also, you know, works over here at Domino's. I'm not trying to give out too much information, but you see where I'm going. He gave me the opportunity to stay here, but we did not know it was gonna be, you know, I mean, I kind of figured that it would be, we're gonna have Justin's, but Justin is the main priority. He has a contract with you. I don't. I mean, the biggest contract I got is by marriage, and you know, I'm willing to let that go. I let it go for a long time, so I don't want him to feel like I'm stuck under his ass. But I have no way of supporting myself, so I don't want him to think that I'm just gonna stay here and not try to do something. So that's why I started this channel. That is the thing about the locations. I want to be somewhere else. I am counting my blessings, don't get me wrong, but we deserve to move on to our next life, and it's good we got this time for a closure that is decent. That's why I'm trying to be quiet, because I don't want to muck up that friendship. So, I'm not going to talk long on it, but that's my goal. My driver's license is out of Virginia Beach, Virginia, and I live in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. But I would really like to go back and paint on the beach. So, I mean, if I can get back on my food assistance, I'd be all right. But I can't, because they want certain documents. They want me to work. I'm 50 years old. I really should be filing for disability, but I can't trust the government. I mean, look at how many government shutdowns there have been. We can't trust anybody these days, and I do not trust them when it comes to telling me, oh, well, trust the government, we'll give you disability, and we'll make sure you're fed. No, I've been homeless for 3 years knowing I couldn't work. And I was fine, and they removed my eligibility because they don't have proof I can't work. I can't go to the doctor, have a copay. You can get on Medicaid. No, I can't, because I'm still married. I still have this over here, insurance, you know. You can't. You're giving me too many. People give me insights, or I don't know why I'm painting these, but okay. I don't know why I paint a lot of the things that I do, but just bear with me. It's fun. I mean, it's fun so far. Oh, it's fun all the time. The Leo symbol, I think. I'll have to go back and look at that. I did that yesterday, so it just... One day I'll go live. One day we'll just have a ball talking, but I don't feel like going live here right now because of the people that I live with. My son has a mouth, and he gets excited anytime. He's a musician. He gets excited every time he hears about a new amp or whatever for his, you know, side gig over here. I call it a side gig because right now it is. I understand you have the marking for band, but right now band is more like I'm not knocking him whatsoever. I want that repetitively put out there, because I don't know what he'll hear later. He may come back here and watch these videos because, you know, I'm gone. But I want you to know, always follow your dreams. If that's what you're dreaming of, do it. If you're dreaming about being a musician, do it. I'm all for it. But do not forget, you need an income to support that habit. for 20 some years, I was your income. I've done everything from, well, in the 90s, I used to work at a club called the Mirage, and if you know anything about Monroe, you know what that is, Monroe, Louisiana. It's not there now. I passed by it a couple years ago because I wanted to check and see if it was. And you always have to go back to where you started. And if you're looking to rearrange yourself, you got to say, what was I doing in this mind frame? You know, where was I at this point in time in my life? What was I running from? Who was I trying to be? We're all here trying to be somebody, right? So who was I trying to be at this point in life? Because obviously, you know, that's where I see my life have changed from. You know, from the point of time for my arrival in, you know, Bastrop, Louisiana. So, the way I see it, I have been a business owner in Millington, Tennessee, while my husband was in the military, retiring out there. I was, my whole family went through Hurricane Katrina and went through it, meaning we did not stay. We were evacuated by the Navy, but we were afflicted many times over because our identities, bank account, their social security cards, everybody was attacked, and all of our information was out there. We got protection for a little while, but you know, that doesn't last forever. They don't realize it has outstanding repercussions because, well, even after the stuff is, you know, we'll give you identity protection for so many years, and if nothing happens, yeah, okay, great. What happens after that? Because they still don't have my shit. They may not have it now. It gives me plenty of time to close my bank accounts and start all over again. Oh, that's why I draw very, very disgusted feeling for the banking system. And this, I need a cigarette, so you will see me smoking. Well, until they ban cigarettes altogether, and I hope that they don't, because they gotta have a vice. Otherwise, you can see some people out here just seeing the raw side of me. And while that's not a bad thing, without a cigarette, it might be. Like I said, whatever comes out, comes out. I got colors over here blended, secret blended. On top it may be purple, on top, underneath it's layered. So whatever I dip and it's only layered because I put that in there, and then I put one color here, one color here, one color here, one color here. As you can tell, these wells are, and then I add water to it so it blends in. So I really don't know what the colors are underneath. So we'll dip it here because we see kind of, but then we tap it and see it's more teal on that tap. But I like mystery colors like this. And that's what makes this a mystery art too, because I don't know how I'm going to be channeling this out. Now, I didn't set up to be like Bob Ross, but Bob Ross would talk about the painting. We're going to talk about everything else after that. You know, I wonder what was going through his mind. I wonder what was going through his mind while he's sitting here painting, going, you know what? I'm going to do this here, and it's going to remind me of something here. I wonder if he would have been given the freedom to talk about anything other than art, letting it come out, what he would have said. You know, like, I need a joint. I need to go hit that bong again as it's wearing off. Something, you know? I'm not saying that he did. I'm just saying I would have loved to hear that. And at that time, we were censored. I mean, the world as a whole was a censored place. And, from what I know now, I wouldn't doubt that it was supposed to stay that way. Well, things were easier when it was censored. But I feel like it was easier when it was censored because we didn't have so many negative influences on the kids we're trying to raise today. So while the generosity of the information is out there, we are losing the innocence of our children as well. So at what cost of our liberties is this good for our children and our future? We're teaching them not to be suppressed or repressed, but we're teaching them to be depressed. We can't make it better for them by teaching them negativity. I think that's why I'm back here, but I'm not really positive. God put me some places and I not have any idea why, and I not find out until I'm leaving. I didn't know I was gonna leave and go to Florida, get a ticket, or get towed. Oh, hello. Oops. We got a little oopsie over here. I love accidents, but this ain't one of them. This is my son's table. I'm just here borrowing it. I have an iPhone 11. So I need to upgrade my phone. It was a Cricket special. My husband got me this, but my son said, I've been working on this since November. It's March 1st. I've been working on this since November. I just don't have a way to get, to do it. And I've been trying to talk to Dad, which is my husband. I've been trying to talk to Dad about getting you on his Apple account. I'm like, wait, he hasn't. Oh yeah, that's right. He has an iPhone. And then I'm like, he said, well, I've got a SE 2020. I'll give you. Somebody traded it in here, and I just went ahead and I took care of it, bought it. So, he did that, and I was here in less than 24 hours. No, actually, I think it was maybe 24 hours. I told him I was leaving to come up there, and that was when I called my husband for the very first time in over a year. So, my son is the one that actually, he wanted to get me something he could track me on, and whenever my phone goes out, he wanted to make sure I was still moving around and not have to, call me. I'd rather, him do that than, or call me, let me know, hey, look, I just looked you up, I'm just checking on you, I see you're at Dunkin' Donuts, I give you $10. He used to do that. I give you $10, go get a cup of coffee. I said, well, I got one. I said, now I have two. I was sitting there using the Wi-Fi because I didn't have any cell phone. That was in January, right before all this happened. It was right before my mom passed away. Actually, I think it was the month before my mom passed away. Because I was at Dunkin' Donuts on the last little remnants of my paycheck from Wendy's at Pilot in Dixon, Tennessee. I've worked at Nashville. In downtown, they have a Jimmy John's right across from a Dollar General. It's right across the street. They have people that sit outside and drink all day. And and they're homeless. I was living at the Mission and I was working at Jimmy John's. But I was kind of living in my car. I worked at Jimmy John's in the Mission. Jimmy John's while I was at the Mission, living there. But my favorite refuge used to be walking downtown on Broadway and Devonbroad. I don't know how you pronounce it. But I hear somebody in there on the phone. I don't know who, and I don't want to say anything that can be caught on the other end in case he's talking to someone. I don't need them overhearing what I'm saying. This ain't a community conversation. This is a YouTube community conversation. Yeah, I follow Scar in the Woods. He's got my vote, man. I've been there, done that. That's exactly what I want to do. I have given him ideas. I'm hoping that he liked the idea, apparently. What I saw is how to heat up a house with a candle. And you take the candle, let's say this is the candle. All right, you have bricks around the candle. And over the candle, you have a clay pot on these bricks, just over it. Now, clay pot and a surface. Here, you can heat up something with a pan if you want to. If you wanted hot coffee or hot water for noodles. Oh my gosh. I was like, man, that said that'd heat up a whole room, and it was just a little a square candle. I want to try that. I really want to try that. I can't do it in the car, but I can do it if I make the little tent, or, I wanted to get a storage container, a shipping container, and actually do that there in that way. I mean, I can hook up, solar panel or solar generator. I ain't got no problem doing all that. And I know where I can get food if I'm in Hopkinsville. So I may have to expand that to the Kentucky area, because I love the landscape in Kentucky. Tennessee just seems to be full anymore. There's no natural places. I mean, when I started liking Clarksville, I didn't realize how big of an Army community it was. Because I was there, but we were only there on vacation. I was only there for a couple of days. His family was from there, but I'm more geared to Kentucky. I like caves. That's why I liked Clarksville. It has the Dunbar Cave. That was part of my college. I did a project in college for geology. And that was what I did it on, was the Dunbar Cave. I was living in New Orleans at the time, so I did it for the Outer Banks, for my geology class, just for the landscape. I love geology, so I want to explore nature, and I collect. I have a habit. I collect rocks. And yes, this is carnelian, red carnelian. And there's a place in Clarksville, Tennessee that sells them, but you can find them in Berkeley, West Virginia. What I like to do, though, is go to North Carolina. I don't know how good it is there now, but Hidden Night, this is after, I'm talking, this is now the time frame is after Helene, but I went there in 2019, my husband, to celebrate our 20th anniversary and our first working on uncoupling. So it was kind of a milestone, 20-year, and this is it. I'm gonna be leaving at the end of August. Our anniversary was July 2nd. So we stayed in Statesville, North Carolina. And then I found out that my best friend in Virginia Beach, where she's living in Chesapeake when she died, that she passed away right before our anniversary. And I was mad. She died diabetic, couldn't afford insulin either. I worry about that being my way home. I don't even get test strips anymore. I just know when I'm going through a diabetic episode, and I pray through it. I do a little bit of home remedies here and there, but I don't know much about getting rid of it or kicking because pancreas is what it is. The pancreas stops working the way it needs to work. And that is how diabetes is for me and many other people on this planet. The insulin's just to kickstart it, but that's what they say. And then they tell you, oh, well, change your diet. Well, if my diet didn't include all of these chemically built up things that you've taught us that we need to have, like McDonald's or all these things that actually kill our bodies. And I'm not opposed to a good pizza, but I'll be honest, it's not good for our bodies. The beef we eat today is not the beef we had in the past. And now I hear they're trying I hear this, they're trying to make meat. Making meat. And we have big people with big money saying, we need to do more of this. No, we don't. We're killing ourselves doing it. The science just isn't there. Just because it's here now, they're corrupting the future. They're corrupting the future meat. Because our children are only going to know this as such. And our grandchildren are going to live through this and go, what the heck were they thinking? We won't be around. I mean, his money's only going to pay for his life so long. You can't. God's got the longevity. We start speaking stupid, we're gonna come in and do something different. You know what I'm saying? That's where revelation comes in. Like I said, I'm not gonna always talk biblical. This is the only place I can biblically talk and laugh at what God's doing to this planet and how He's gonna take it over again for Him. I know it, but we can't run it. We can't run from it. What I'd love to do on this land here that I'd love to own. I mean, like I said, I don't need a house on it. I just want the bare minimum. If I can get like a shelter or something, a shipping container, I'll build it. I'll build what I want. I'll build me a she shed wherever I feel comfortable. And I really feel drawn to Kentucky and Tennessee. I mean, I'd really love to be in Virginia, but I ain't gonna pay that kind of money for a beach and when it could be washed away. I've already been through Hurricane Katrina. I even actually drove through Hurricane Matthew. Yep. We were Uber drivers, and my husband lost our front plate. We lived 3 blocks back from the beach in between Atlantic and Pacific. No, we did live there. It was the Mayflower Apartments. We lived there, and we lived on the 14th floor. I got my ocean view. And then right after that, we went homeless for a while. The money that we were making with Uber, it stopped because the car stopped, and meaning it got repossessed because I was going to make the payment that day, and it was gone. I was like, fuck it, I'm not doing it anymore. I'll let it all go, burn it to the ground. Let's start over. And we did. And we did it. And I was amazed at how fast it happened. But went from being homeless at the end of October into November and December and January. We had a house. We had it right there in the same freaking, out of the school district. It was in a more dangerous school district. This was Frank W. Cox. This one was First Colonial. Oh my gosh. 316 27th Street. I had my, and that's where we went through Hurricane Matthew. Oh my gosh. My husband was out that day doing Uber after he got off of work at Nick's restaurant, Nick's Raw Bar. You may see me wear it from time to time, if you can see this. I'm trying to be discreet. I got my legs open over this table, but I don't know how much you can see. I'm hoping it doesn't move too much. Let me see what I'm at here. That looks decent. I mean, kind of lopsided. I'm working with a monopod that is zip stripped too. So you got to this bottle. I really need to watch where I paint. So you can see this bottle and right there. And so this is where I need to stop painting. You can see everything over here. Okay, great. I had to get the butt set back. What I did, kind of give my focal points. This is kind of, I don't drink Diet Coke. That's my son's. Some reason he's on a no sugar kick, but to me, Diet Coke is no different. So I still drink regular soda when I do. I don't drink one often, but I do have to have that sugary caffeine. I don't know. I don't have to, but I desire it. So, being homeless in Nashville, lived at the Mission. There was one girl who got up every morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock, she was up, 4 o'clock, she was out. If she wasn't, it's 3:30, I don't know. She worked at some kind of screen printing there in Nashville. And I'll be honest, I saw older women living in this place. No family that can take care of them. And I saw myself being that. At the time, I had just gotten out of the hospital. Suicidal ideations. I need to watch how I use that here. Like I said, I don't have any real addictions. I do smoke pot once in a while, but I prefer gummies. Pain more than anything, and a relaxed state of mind, because I'll be honest with everything that I've been through, and all of this. The anxiety is, I used to be on Klonopin, a very, very high dose of Klonopin. But I'm not anymore. That's why they don't want any medicinal marijuana or recreational marijuana, because wouldn't nobody be on any of their freaking medications. I get way more side effects than I do with gummies or smoking. I don't like to smoke weed. I don't mind it being prepared and well, there goes that ticket again. I have a record, and I'll be honest, I bawled like a baby in front of the judge because this was such a ridiculous charge. I got charged with weed stems in Tennessee that were actually in my backpack from a very, very, very long time ago. I never used to get in trouble. Never. I had perfect record. The first ever record I got was for trespassing while I had a concussion. I didn't know where I lived. I got arrested for trespassing. I was waiting on my son's girlfriend, fiance at the time, to come pick me up from the hospital, and she never showed up. And I promised I would be waiting where they could see me, which was in the light in front of an Aspen Dental in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Now, I had made my presence known, but I still didn't know my own address. I only remembered where my son lived based on the proximity to where I was. And I had been walking around in the same neighborhood for 3 days. Well, the 13th, 14th, 15th. And then the 16th, I got picked up. My husband and I still are on the outs about that story too, because of the whole situation of why I left. I didn't know who he was to me. And that's very, 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 very nerve-wracking and sad. Well, while I was in jail, I remembered, well, I couldn't get a hold of my dad. My dad doesn't answer jail phone calls because they cost a fortune. And I was having to call collect, and he wouldn't have been able to accept it on the cell phone anyway. I had to have commissary, and nobody was helping me. They knew where I was, but they weren't doing anything. They couldn't. Well, they said they couldn't. And some of them said, well, she's where she needs to be. But they didn't know what happened. They didn't know what happened. Okay, I don't know if you see what I'm doing here. I sure do love the way it's coming out. I mean, it looks kind of wild, but hey, abstract art's never. Well, some people plan. I gotta say that. Some people plan. I'm not one that plans. I like to see what's gonna come out. I've got some pretty wild art, and if you look at one of my shorts, it's on there. I think I'm gonna do another short. I like doing the shorts. They're a little bit of work, but I like doing the shorts. I don't want anybody out there to think that they're alone. I'll be honest, because there are a lot of people out there, and that's why I like being out there. I can, if I had a piece of land, I could go to Nashville every day and do this. And just sit and talk with the homeless. You could actually be hearing somebody talking to everybody else. And maybe one day I'll be live. I do plan on going live. I have been, my 24 hours. And the request is done. All I have to do is have the nerve to go live. And I don't have that yet. I don't have the nerve to be on camera. Not facial recognition, but I'm getting there. I'm not sure how I'd be, because to go live, I have to pay attention to the chat and kick out anybody who's being disruptive, but maybe there should be disruptive. I really don't care. Maybe that'll get some attention. You know, not my attention. I mean, I ain't looking for it. I mean, they'll get somebody's attention. Obviously, I will need moderators, but right now it's just kind of, that looks like a dinosaur. A pink dinosaur. That looks like a hand coming from the sky, from the ether, because I see anything purple as could be royal. Like, I don't know about this. If you're just, oh no, you can't just join. You had to have been watching. I guess I'm getting my verbiage set up for going live. No, this is what I'm working on here is a window curtain, and it's from IKEA. It's what the tag says anyway. My husband moved into this house from the house right behind us, which is a single bedroom cottage, and we had the living room set up as my bedroom, and then when I moved out, he used the bedroom, but he needed a bigger place to be, you know, to hang out and chill with Justin, help him get his life back together after, you know, separation from the girl who didn't pick me up from the hospital. So, I don't know if you've seen any orbs in this video, but I hope you have. I hope I'm entertaining at least just for a little while. I'm not listening to anything today. I find it comfortable to keep my headset on regardless of what I'm doing. It also kind of gives people in the world, you know, notice that I ain't paying attention. If my ears open, I'll take it as an option or an opportunity to hear you, but I might not hear you. I met some really hospitable people being stuck in Nashville for 1 week. My battery did not work, and it was a new battery. My husband had to call a tow truck for me after he got some money, and he sent a tow truck for me to get jumped, and I moved on to Mary's house. Again, I went back to Mary's house, and I was kind of terrified, honestly, because I made friends with my family, but I knew they couldn't support me. I mean, my husband, that was his job for 20 years, was to support me, and I ended up working all the time. And now here I was, I couldn't. And it sucked. It still sucks. Because my dad, he says, I don't want to support my daughter's hobo life when she has no need to have a hobo life. She has a husband. Well, Dad, you're in your 70s, and you will not understand the day of today. And I wish I could explain it. But you're also a very respected police officer in the area that you're in. And I am not going to tarnish you here. But I can't be married to somebody that I'm not in love with. So I'm trying. Let's hope this channel works out in a way that I really, really hope that it does. I'm really liking that tie-dye effect. I love to paint. I would get more of these if I could. But like I said, I only got a pair of panels, and we haven't washed the other one yet, and the washer just went out. So Even my clothes aren't getting washed right now. My son's got a load of clothes. I don't know if they're important clothes, but they're still in there, and it's been freezing and unfreezing, and oh boy, I'm hoping that I didn't have something to do. You know, that washroom outside is where we have to go. So I'm hoping that it didn't freeze the mechanics in it and cause it to break that way. I wasn't even thinking about it, I bet you. And the landlord hasn't done anything about it yet. He sent in a request, but he hasn't seen hide nor hair of anybody out here. It was so cold that my husband had to call somebody, and he ended up calling 911 to report the fact that the other night. And I think it's funny because it screamed inside my head. I said, oh my gosh. About 5 minutes later, after screaming in my head, Paul comes in and says, I just got off the phone with 911. There's a leak on Emerald, and there's water coming up out of the middle of the road. It was freezing, the road. It hadn't rained or nothing. But I was like, well, could be an explanation as to why the washers on the comp tin are broken. And, well, like that wasn't a 911 call, but okay. Oh, man. We don't have numbers. I mean, we're not the ones that kind of call on everything, you know what I'm saying? And we'll call the report. A couple weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, there was a fire, and he doesn't wear glasses. He needs to. He can't see depth. He lost his glasses in an Uber. Never saw him again. And he's not one that can afford to go out and get, you know. He's retired Navy and medically, he's got a medical disability with it, but he doesn't like to go and seek assistance for these things. He likes to save them for if he's behind on his water bill or whatever. That's fine. That's fine. That's what they're there for. So you don't become homeless because you end up, missing on something. But that's not the point. This is the point. My husband calls 911 to report a fire behind the house, which is beside a church. He thought the church was on fire. I don't know. We can't see from the yard, and he has no glasses, so I hope we didn't tick off any neighbors that night, or Cape Girardeau Police. Yeah, that day that I had that, I told the cop I just want the phone. I need to call my husband, or my dad. I know my dad's phone number. And he said, well, we don't, I told him, I said, I remember where I live. He said, we don't take people home, we take them to jail. I'm like, what? Wow. So all this time, I'd been having problems with memory. I didn't know where I was, and I kept going in and out of consciousness. And all because of a concussion, but they were treating me like I was a drug addict. I had Narcan at home because this apartment complex over here is filled with, at the time, filled with the problem. And I found it on the street, so I knew there was a problem in the area. It was unopened, and I had it on my shelf in the house. And I had it in case I ever passed somebody who just went from fine to really, really bad off. So I'm not the one, but I know that there is a problem out there that exists. I'm just not that one. And I'll be honest, when the EMS found me in the park, that park is known for heroin addicts, and that's where they get their sources from. So I know I was in a bad place. And the guy said, the paramedic, I told him he had a bedside manner of a tick. And he said, what do you know about EMS? Well, my mom was a paramedic, or not a paramedic, she was an EMTA at the time in the 80s and 90s. For career day, I went to school as that with her jump bag. I carried it all day, everywhere. Her jump bag had gauze and band-aids and a blood pressure cup. I had all mom's equipment, and I went in her scrubs. And my dad, when my mom was doing that, in a little called Hamburg, Arkansas. When my mom was doing that, my dad worked for the police department in Hamburg as a patrol officer at the time. And he also worked for the volunteer ambulance service that my mom worked for. Yes, I said volunteer, so they were an EMTA and an ambulance driver as well as a police officer. And my mom worked as a dietary manager at a nursing home in Wilmot, Arkansas, doing all that at the same time. So, my uncle, he's a flight paramedic at the time that I'm getting all this habit, all this stuff happening to me. And Cape Girardeau Cape Girardeau ambulance, I don't know which one it was, whatever it was, on the 9th, and it's in September on the 2021. Right before my arrest, I'll put it that way. Yes, I give you my name when I start, I believe. If not, just send me an email. Tell me, you've had a hairy experience with cops. But this paramedic looked at me and goes, what do you know about the paramedic? And I'm like, well, my uncle is a flight paramedic in Arkansas. My aunt, at the time of this, she was working in Lake Chico, at Lake Chico Memorial, as their home health care and home health aid director and coordinator. So I know a little bit. It wasn't just that I have family in this profession. You're being a jackass to me. And then I pass out again. My eyes, I feel like my eyes roll back. And then he Narcans me. He Narcan me. I mean, I get it. You gotta get your... But he was aggressive. I hope he was wearing a body camera. I really do. Because he was actually aggressive. And I realized I was in a dress. I had no underwear on. I am exposed. And I have no control over my body at this point. I feel my body has gone stiff. I feel like I've run from death, or I cheated. I can't even say cheated death. I got reprieved from death to tell my story. I know I had to. But I don't know which story I'm supposed to tell. If it's not all of it. Because God will do that to us. If we've been through some hells, He's going to do it for us. He'll make things all blurry. He'll make things all good. And He will let you remember what you need to remember to get the justice you so deserve. No matter how He makes that public. Everybody's given a choice. So when you think you don't think God's looking, and hear what I said, when you think that you don't think God's looking, He's always watching. always watching. There's a picture that I've got on ViewBug. Yes, I am a photographer. There's a picture I have on ViewBug of me when I was underwater in Virginia Beach. I was drowning when I took this picture. My hand was solid on the shutter, and you can see every move through, but you can't see me. I wish you could, because there's a peace sign on the ground in the ocean as I'm getting torn under with these waves. And it looks so perfect. So yes, I know God is out there and he gives me signs as I'm being forgiven. You are given another life to walk through a couple more days, however long the season is. Keep walking with me. You got it. You got it. You got it. Every time we see that peace sign somewhere, just look up and smile. Because that's God smiling at you. That's the way I see it. That's the way I see it anymore. And for those of y'all who don't believe, I think that was there for a reason. I mean, because that one just, I'm telling you, if you saw any orbs out here today, you have been, this is just another one of Mystical MoonRose's productions. And my name is Anna Marie Harmony Stanton. I am on Facebook. I'm on Instagram as MyzMoonRose. I do not participate in those as often as I do right here, right now with YouTube. Because, well, everybody's on YouTube, right? Yes. But at least here, I can connect with you with this craft that I love. Art. And I will be here as long as I get this painted. And I will tell you, I mean completely painted. We still have another side to paint. Just because this side's full, don't mean this one won't be. See, we still have bare spots. And what I plan on doing with this and the other curtain or any other things that I can get, I will get more curtains like this. Just make a donation. If you want my home address, I'll give you that. If it's for a gift you want to do through Amazon, or if you want to do through eBay or whatever, if you want to get it from IKEA and have it shipped here, that's fine. Make sure they're white and that they're cotton. And these are the big panels. And here's the tag for this. It's an IKEA. And you can tell it's used. So if you want, you have a very thick canvas-like surface you want painted, it may take a year. It may take me a year, I'll be honest. I was thinking about that earlier. It may take me a year to get this one done completely. I'm going to redo this when I'm here chatting. This will probably be where I say, all right, look, I've done what I've been doing today, and we're going to cut you loose. But no, I'm not doing that right now. I want to see how far this goes out, because I know my phone is lacking memory. So I need to upload, and I'll come back. But the locations, this is just wherever I actually want to park my butt to get out of my husband's hair, so I can keep going and letting him go. And hopefully try to make something out of this, because this is pretty much all I can do. I have a craft, and I'd like to share some stories with you. And, you know, if you want to get out of the everyday and you want to hear somebody else's crap, come join me. That's all I can say. I'm going to stop this here. Everybody who will see this will have opportunity to see it in a few minutes. God had guided you here for some reason, and we connect on another level. We may not connect, we may connect right away, but this is a woman who channels from her angels, and God has That's another thing. I believe firmly in God. My husband, my son, they're going to have to find out in their way. Let's just say, I've had my meetings with God, and I'm here because I'm supposed to lead them back, but I have to make my own way now. I have to make my own way. They're there. The door is open for communication with me again. And that's what I had to make sure that I did. So, I'll be back in a few more minutes. And I'm going to move this to another way. We'll come back to this later when this dries. Peace, love, and light. And I hope to see you in episode 9. This is season 1, episode 8. Again, this is Mystical Moon Rose Productions. I'll see you when I see you.